Hello everyone who got to the second part. Thanks to everyone who supports me and does not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Jimmy is with you as always, and we are starting the first story in the second part from user Miserable Piglet. Let's listen. This story is so weird. When I 27 female was 20 young, I was in relationship or FWB situation with a guy, now 40 male. It was messy. We were on and off for almost 5 years. He was always clear he wasn't ready for a relationship, and I was always clear I was madly in love with him. Every time I got tired of the situation and wanted to leave, somehow he convinced me to stay. Because love is free. We have so much time together. He wasn't ready to commitment. I asked advice to my sister, now 42 female, and she gave me some crappy advice like made him compromise, leave stuff at his place, and basically turn him into a boyfriend until it was too late to him to say no. I never managed to do that because I wanted him to love me as much as I loved him, not trap him. During the last night I spent at his place, he said he wanted to try something more serious with me. Talked about some dates he planned, only to ghost me forever. It was hard. This was the first person I loved, and he treated me like crap. 6 months passed, and my sister came home. We both lived with our parents, saying she wanted to introduce her brand new boyfriend. She had have ton of boyfriends, but she said this was the one. It was a dinner only with my parents at our home, so I was excluded and expected to just go out or chill in my room. The day came, and while they were dinning, I ordered a pizza. I came downstairs only to find the guy I was with 6 months prior, dinning with my parents and sister. I was shocked, but paid for my pizza and went to my room again to cry. After dinner was over, I confronted my sister in front of our parents and begged her to not be with him, to be loyal to me, her little sister. There was no way she didn't know who he was. I had showed her pictures of him, his socials media, where he worked, and she even know where he lived. They never met because he didn't wanted to met my family and never introduced his. But she knew who he was, and she excluded me from that dinner because she knew she said they met by chance after we stopped seeing each other. She knew how hard that rupture was. She knew how painful it was. To not have even a closure, he just stopped replying. Not even blocking me, just left me there, wondering after 5 years. She knew that during those 6 months, I was still hurting. I know how it was my fault. I was too naive and thought that if I stayed long enough, he would be ready for the relationship I wanted and would learn to love me. Unwise, I know. She defended herself, saying it was a coincidence and chemistry was there. She loved him and she wasn't going to lost the love of her life. This stuff only happens once in lifetime. When I was in my early 20s, I would believe that. However, now I know that there are 8 billion people in this world. There's no one love of your life. You can find the love of your life multiple times if look for it. My parents sided with her and said I should get over it since we never have a real relationship. 1.5 years had passed. I've been excluded from multiple family gatherings because he would be around and my family thinks I will bring negative vibes since I'm still bitter about everything. I have no feelings for him, but I feel betrayed by my sisters and my parents. He is just paws on my eyes now. My sister is now 6 months pregnant. Due her age, she had been extremely pampered by my parents. She still lives at home and is going to move with him maybe 2 months after the baby is born. Then they're going to marry. In my culture is normal that if a woman gives birth, moves back, or stay with her mom, so the mom will help with the baby for the first months. A week ago, my sister's friends made a surprise baby shower. I happened to be at home. I tried to talk to them. I don't know why. Maybe because my sister and I were too close before, and I'm sad we're not longer friends. But her friends acted like I wasn't there, and only replied to me with yes, no, or silence as I was the one that created this mess, or I was a homewrecker, or I tried to seduce my sister's man. I was planning to move already, I was saving money, etc. But after that, I left immediately to a friend house. I'm in the process to find my own place. 2 days ago, I received a call from my parents asking me to have a talk. I went to their house and they informed me that the diamond earrings my grandma left me will be given to my sisters. Those earrings have been in my family for 4 generations. And before my grandma died, she said the earrings will be mine, and my sister will receive a gold necklace. Grandma trusted my parents with the earrings, There was no will or anything, she just asked to give it to me when I was mature enough to appreciate or take care of a family heirloom. Now, my parents think since my sister is getting married first and is having grandma's first great-grandchild, my sister should have it. I'm really mad now. They're robbing me of something my grandma left to me. I don't think my parents are evil. I think they were to word my sister wouldn't marry due her age again. In my culture, a single woman in her 40s is something to worry for her family. And now that she's forming a family, they want to reward her with everything. But I was the closest to my grandma. She made it clear the earrings will be mine, not my sister's, not the first one to marry or have a child, but mine. After 2 years of being excluded in favor of my sisters, I gave the ultimatum to my parents. They give the earrings to me as my grandma intended. Or I will cut them from my life forever. Not gonna lie, the idea of cutting my family off is too painful, but I feel they already made me, and still makes me so wrong. I don't want them in my life anymore. I feel a little shallow, fighting over this, but those are only things my granddad left to. They are not entitled to them. Let's listen user comment and what author answer on him. You need to get a lawyer. Those earrings are your inheritance from your grandmother, and if it's documented in your grandmother's will, they can be sued and charged with stealing. I know you don't want to do this, but your family has already shown you that you don't matter to them at all. Do you honestly believe that they are going to care if you go no contact with them? Don't warn them that you are going to press charges for stealing. The will giving you the earrings will magically go missing. I'm sorry, OP. You deserve better, and I hope you stay strong enough to make boundaries that you will be able to stand by. Grandma left no will. She changed her jewelry, and most of them were family heirloom to everybody. My grandma was the 4th generation with the. I was 12 when my grandma does. She gave them earrings to my mom so I could have them when I was ready to take care of them properly. I always thought I would wear them on my wedding day, or a very special day. Since I lived with my parents not so long ago, I never asked for them because mom has them in a safe in her room with other important stuff. I don't know if they would care. I think they don't believe they're doing nothing wrong handing the earring to the sister that is having grandma's first great-grandchild. But if grandma wanted that, she would have started, the sister that has the first child must receive the earrings. She said they were mine. Honestly, the entitlement. Author update this story. This is old, but I keep receiving messages every once in a while, asking for an update. Yes, I got the earrings. After my post, I went to my parents' house, opened the safe, took the earrings and left. Then after that, I went again, told my parents I need time to process stuff and be my own self, and gave their house's keys, said I was leaving for good. There was some tears from my mom saying she couldn't believe I was such a bitter person. She raised me better. I was turning my back to my family over nothing. And finally that it was shameful that I would let the family house without being married or anything. So it was never about me or she loving me or anything, but social pressure to keep an outdated tradition. My dad was very neutral, gave me a hug and wished me luck. For 2 months, nothing happened. And I barely have contact with my family. Found a place to live, tried to heal, have real fun decorating my new home, your normal stuff. And then everything happened at once. For those 2 months, my sister and mom never reached to me. Only my dad sent a text once a week asking how I was and wishing I was doing well. And then my sister's boyfriend or future husband or also my ex started to follow me on Instagram again. I found it weird. But anyway, after all, he's my sister's boyfriend or father of my niece or future brother-in-law or my ex-FWB. He started to like my stories and the replying to them with hearth emojis and looking good. This happened 3 times maybe. When I received the voicemail from my mom calling all sort of names for going after a man that I knew was engaged, this was some kind of revenge over my poor sister. That I was causing her so much stress, her blood pressure level was over moon. I was an inconsiderate femme fatale, and she raised me better. Later I learned through a cousin that my sister took her fiance's cell phone and found several conversations with several women, including his, attempts to talk to me. So of course she went to my mom, crying about me trying to steal her fiance. All messy TBH. Less than a week later, another voicemail from mom asking me where the earrings. She went looking after them, and when she couldn't find them, deduced it was me. She called me a thief, a disgrace, dishonored me, and said they didn't consider me family anymore. I was dead to them, and she will be taking legal actions against me for thief if it was possible. I had no option but to block her and my sister and other family members that sided with them. My dad later texted me to let me know my mom went nuts and they won't take any legal action. By the end of last month, my cousin texted me saying my sister had given birth to my niece. I know I shouldn't, but I did it. I went to the hospital with a gift while wearing my beautiful and fancy earrings. I was kicked out, of course, but it was worth of it. I have no plans to see them ever again. Well, maybe my dad. Also, my cousin Big Gossiper, that girl let me know my sister is getting married in May, so she will have her happy ever after all. That what I think about it? Nah, I'm just your average village. I'm surprised OP had no actual plan for the eventual call and accusations, since it took the mom months to notice the earrings were missing. Personally, I would have played dumb the entire time and hide them somewhere safe, just in case. A couple of years later, flaunt them all you want and say that since mom stole and then lost her rightful inheritance, she saved and commissioned a similar pair. I'm amazed the mom didn't try to yank them out of off her ears or called the police on her the second she saw the earrings. Let's listen, the user's comment. If it makes you feel any better, your 3 young is probably being very conscious about their language skills. Around that age is when they start speaking fluent long sentences and assembling complex thoughts or discussions. They get most vocabulary words correctly, but not all. Up until that point, a child's life has been filled with constant corrections from adults teaching them the actual meaning and pronunciation of words, verb conjugations. They're learning how to use language properly, and their little brains are making powerful and lasting associations. Kind of like trying to explain that a person with baggage big words, I know, I couldn't think of a simpler example, isn't the same as a person with a suitcase. They learn through error what is and isn't, so children especially tend to get very literal and specific when it comes to language. Your child clearly learned well each person's name and nicknames, and knows how to differentiate pronouns. When you said you love them back, that implied that they had just told you that they love you too, which they hadn't. They probably saw it as if you were trying to correct what they said, or as if you had misinterpreted their sentence. So they clarified very harshly that they said what they said, not your reinterpretation of it. Your child probably saw it the same as I love yellow. Oh, I love green yellow. Blue too. I said I love yellow, not green. Not much different when your child said his sister's name, and you replied with we too, as if you'd been included. A bit cheeky to invite yourself to the party, ain't it? Jokes aside, I'm sure it's just linguistic overcorrection. I'm fairly certain that if you'd replied, aw cute, and you know who I love, you and baby sister, your child would have been a lot less harsh. I can't promise sweetness though. That's still developing. Because when you're ostracized, you not only lose your family, but all the support group that goes with it. When I was kicked out forcibly and my things were strewn on the street in trash bags, I considered no contact, but then I got threatened ostracization, if that is a word. From not just family members, but family friends and their friends as well. I became a subject of gossip that continues even up until now. But what can I do when we all live in a small town? It's really easier said than done. When you're in that situation, you feel vulnerable in the elements. You fear and feel the lack of support, the familiarity of your surroundings. Even financial stability is gone and terminated. You let them back because you have no choice. To walk away from stability in this economy would be insanity. Personally, I can let go of my work contract in a year because they funded my pre-master's education and I would pay for breach of contract. But after that, I am gone. To the OP, stay strong. Try and weather the elements by making new connections. Go out even if you don't want or feel like it. This is survival now. Cut those who aren't in your team because you'll be way healthier mentally without them. Financially, it's more tricky. Save up on money. Get the odd overtime or jobs here and there, and always be on a lookout for better jobs who have no connections to your past. To all who have reached the end, Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. Thank you all for your support. I really appreciate it. That's all for today. See you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.